Now, the trial hearing in the case between Paul Gicheru and the prosecutor has concluded, with the judges set to deliver a verdict at a date to be announced later. Today was the final day of the trial, and the prosecution said that they had produced all the evidence needed to prove Gicheru is guilty, while the defense maintained that the prosecution did not bear the burden of proof as they should have.
Mode of liability with respect to the actions of certain associates.
The trial in the case of the prosecutor versus Paul Gicheru is almost over, with both the prosecution and the defense making closing statements, both hoping for a favorable verdict from the criminal court. Both parties were allowed an hour to argue their case. The prosecution argued that they had proven without a shadow of a doubt that the accused Paul Gicheru is guilty of crimes against the administration of justice by corruptly influencing witnesses in the 2007 Kenyan cases.
Prosecution witnesses were bribed and intimidated into agreeing to sign recanting affidavits, making fabricated allegations against the prosecution and other witnesses, and to provide false evidence in the Ruto and Sang case. It is for this very reason that the prosecution went to such great lengths to obtain objective corroboration for the witnesses' evidence, such as recording of approaches by perpetrators, bank records, communication data, and so forth. The evidence of 8 prosecution witnesses implicating the accused and his associates is too voluminous and too consistent for this to have been a coincidence, in the sense that these witnesses independently decided to falsely incriminate the same person or persons.
On the other hand, the defense urged the criminal court to evaluate the evidence submitted, accusing the prosecution of failing to exercise due diligence in assuring appropriate evidence collection.
All the other witnesses who appeared in court were impeached to such an extent, and their evidence was shown to be so full of major inconsistencies on core aspects of their testimony that they are, we submit, incapable of belief. They lied under oath, with the determined reason and purpose. They're asking you to sift through and try to cherry pick and decide what pieces of evidence a witness gave might be, after being impeached all over the place, might be good enough for you to latch on in order to find reasonable, that they prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. We submit that the witnesses were so corrupted in their own contradictions that you cannot easily find what is good and what is bad.
Gicheru's trial began on February 15, 2022. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. So far, 8 witnesses have testified for the prosecution. The court is in recess to review the proceedings and then decide on conviction or acquittal. If Paul Gicheru is convicted, the prosecutor might reopen the Ruto and Sang case. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.